So hello everyone, welcome to ANUBHAV, Understanding Student Leadership. Today we have the General Secretary of the Sports Board, Mr. Soorya with us.
Hello.
So to begin with the first one, how would you reflect on your journey as the General Secretary of the Sports Board?
Okay. My journey had a lot of ups and downs, and these ups and downs reflected on the learning. So there was a lot of learnings personally as a person. And you will get a chance to work with the various types of people with various ideologies and mentalities. So you need to manage them. And there will be like a lot of secretaries and core team under you. So you need to manage them. And also there will be a lot of people with you, the staff members, the chairman. So you need to build a good rapport with them and build a good rapport with the admin. How much ever you be an extrovert and how much ever you build rapport with the admin and everyone, you can handle the problems when it comes easily. So they will be supportive to you also. And in the journey, there was a lot of time planning and execution on various events, not just events. For inter-IIT also we did a lot of planning. The outcome was not as we expected, but the experience during the inter-IIT, it happened in 3 places: Madras, Tirupati, Hyderabad. So I was in Hyderabad and I was the contingent leader there. So there was around 100 students, the contingent. So managing them, having meetings for them daily and keeping everyone in the same spirit that we need to win. That is the main role of General Secretary, I feel. The bonding of the team. And conducting events, mainly the General Secretary should not focus that much. He should have a strong team. He should build the team so it will be an automatic cycle. They will be working. So if they work like that, you will have a lot of time implementing your agendas, discussing with the people who have better ideas, and the events will happen easily. That will be the easiest thing you can do. But the agendas which you need to initiate, which you came for to this posting, that will take a lot of time and a lot of meetings is needed. So those were pretty good.
So what are some of the core responsibilities of the General Secretary Sports Board that students might not always see behind the scenes?
Student might not see. Okay. Managing the finances and moving papers will be a big lot of work, which will consume a lot of time, but it's also dependent on the other factors. Like sports would have more bureaucracies than other boards. So if everyone cooperate and if your board also cooperates, those 2 things which I told will go smoothly. And the main work is to make your board and make your team feel that they are responsible rather than just you are scolding them and making them work, making them feel responsible and keeping them in the same mind throughout their tenure, because they might get demotivated anytime. I am working, but why should I work? That question can come anytime to all the PR holders. So the General Secretary's work is to cheer them up and keep them in a flow. So that will be one thing. And the tangible things will be seen out. Like if something we build or some new sports complex come, it will be seen out. But the management thing which we do behind, and the thing I told in the first question, like keeping the bond of the inter-IIT team, that will be one huge work in the process, but that won't be seen outside rather than the 100 people who are there. Other things are spirit. During spirit, GS will have a lot of work, but people will have an idea that spirit have a separate team and it have a convener. So the GS, and same thing for Alchering and Technish also. So the GS, how much ever the GS is involved, the team of the event can work smoothly. The thing in the last tenure, what happened was the spirit team suffered a lot with the bureaucracy in sports because they were new. So the GS should be there as a bridge managing spirit and the board. Other things include, basically it's bargaining and being diplomatic in all the scenes, and you need to, if you want something, you need to go to extent and talk to a people again and again and just make it happen. That will be something outside, just the outcome will be there, but all the work and all the fight and meetings will be at the back end. That won't be known to students.
So next one, what has been the most challenging part of managing sports activities, inter-hostel competitions and representing the institute externally?
About managing sports activities, it's basically the events conducted by the different sports and the club secretaries. So it should be they and their team, their club members and the core team need to be working. Your work as a GS will come on streamlining the sports activities and allocating budgets accordingly, because they might not have much idea about the overall financial status and which money is going where. So you need to take care of that. And also streamlining in the sense, if some few sports want to conduct a similar kind of event, either should you club it or should you conduct separately, and should the proposal go together, not together. Those things you need to guide them. And also, the person who is becoming the general secretary will have already somewhat of experience in the board, mostly till now. So how to, from starting to putting the proposal to till the execution, from buying and the vendor, everything, you will be a person who will be guiding all the club secretaries in each and every step. It's just basically you need to be in a place and receive hundreds of calls daily. That will be in managing sports secretaries. The inter-hostel competition, as I again said, your team should be already set, because the inter-hostel competition Sparda happens in the second semester of the GS tenure. So at that time, the team should be already set to carry on by their own. Until last year, there wasn't a student as a convener. The staff was the convener all the time. But this year, staff is also there as a convener. Along with that, my events manager, I put him as a convener, and he's doing a good job. So from now, there will be a point of time, I think it will come, that only student is the convener of Sparta rather than the staffs. And about representing the institute externally, it will be a great experience. Like, you will be holding the flag of IIT Guwahati and marching, and Sai and I will be saluting to you. Those great experiences will be there. And also, another good time in a GS tenure is the one board meeting will happen around the August time, where all the IITs will come together, and it will be before inter-IIT to discuss the rules and whatever changes we want to bring. There you can speak up, there you can put your agendas. If you want to include any sports, that is the time you need to put it up. So, and that is the time you will make friends with all the IIT's general secretaries. This year we had a very good bond, so that was a very good time. So these are the experience.
So what were the key focus areas or ongoing developments in sports during your tenure that should continue in the next year?
Focus areas and developments, I will say, in three categories. One will be practice, another will be the events which we conduct, and the third will be the infra part. So in practice, last year we started our practice. Three sports started from summer camp itself, and the remaining started after that, but from August. But this year I'm planning to start from this semester itself. Just after Sparta gets over, we are planning to have a big meet and talk to all the captains and to start the practice in a full flow. So that should be there. Events wise, if I need to say, like open tournament happened this year, which was a bit more streamlined, and 8 sports we planned, and 5 got cancelled and 3 happened. That was because of various issues which we faced for the first time. So that shouldn't be there the next year. The previous year it was randomized, whichever sport want to conduct, they can conduct. But this year it was more streamlined, so that should be followed. And spirit grew. This year, the sports also, we included few sports, and also the pro night happened in a very good level outside. So both the sports side also should be focused on spirit. It should be continued, and the pro night also should happen for the entire campus well-being and everything. On the infra part, if you need to say, recently few things got over. The TT hall, the volleyball courts got over, the work got finished, and the sports complex is signed. So keep on pushing will be needed. IPM works, mostly it doesn't happen immediately. So from last year, this year also I pushed, so it should be continued. And there is few alums are ready to fund for sports board, so that should be, the contact should be maintained and that should be implemented. And few other things is, in IIT Guwahati proposed in the board meeting, which I told in the previous question, we proposed 2 agendas. One got implemented. The another one was introducing girls Kho. So for that, in the board, they decided that they are forming a committee of 6 senior sports officers. In that, our sports officer also might be there. So if Kho is introduced, we have a good chance in winning in Kho, because already we are having a Kho club and there is active participants. So that we need to be focused. Then compared to last year, this year, the inter-IIT, our ranking didn't go up. It's remained the same. Last year also we got 9th position in the overall. This year also we are in 9th position. But the teams which went to quarterfinals was more this year. Last year, many sports we just came out in leagues itself, which is not a happy thing to say. But this year we went to quarterfinals. So as much as going to semis, as much as going to the finals will be good for the next year. So the ranking can go up. So that need to be focused. Then, as I already told, the Sparda this year, majorly it is shifting towards student managing Sparda. So that should be entirely towards student managing Sparda should happen. So these are the things.
So if you look back at your tenure, could you share one memorable highlight and one significant challenge, and how you dealt with them?
Mentioning a single memorable highlight is kind of hard, because there is a lot. And to be particular, as I have already mentioned, the inter-IIT board meeting will be a memorable thing for you. That experience will be. Other than that, just like all the boards, there will be regular some issues, problems, concerns will be rising. So whenever you address it and call them, and a positive solution towards the student body we get, that will be very memorable for you. And whenever you send any team in IIT also, and other than IIT, when you send them to any competition, and if they win and come, it will be very personal for you, rather than just you winning as a sportsman. When your team or when your contingent win, it will be very personal for you, and it will be very memorable. And significant challenge will be, I already told, you need to bargain and in many places, and you need to talk and defend your point in many places. So every time when you want to implement your agenda, a challenge will come. So you need to be positive. Whenever if any harsh words or harsh incident happens against you, also you need to be like, okay, now what? You need to be in that mindset. So that will be very helpful for anyone who is becoming the general secretary. And during inter-IT time also, it will be very not hard, but it will be a challenge that the entire contingent should trust you. For that, you need to build their trust. You need to get their trust, and they need to believe that when Gensec is saying something, or when Gensec is telling you to do something, they should listen. For that, you need to gain their trust. So that is another thing.
So the last one, what advice would you offer to students planning to contest for the General Secretary Sports Board position?
So there are few misconceptions on becoming not just GS sports, any GS. That also I need to clarify. Like, it will be very time consuming, and in other boards, at least when you become the GS, you will have certain power already in your hand. But in sports board, when you become more than power, you will have a lot of responsibilities in a very short period of time, and the power you need to gain in the due course of time by building rapport with everyone. So in the initial, if you feel like once I become GS, I will do everything, you will be disappointed very soon. And I saw the pattern before me, that's why I'm saying this. So that is there. Another advice will be, it will be very time consuming, and the CPA criteria for standing in elections is different. But if you want to actually work good, have a good CPA and come, or else it will be very hectic. Then yeah, that's it. And another thing is, talk and gain knowledge from lots and lots of people before standing in election. It will be good for your tenure. How much our content you take in your head will be useful in your tenure to act accordingly. Because if something new comes, you shouldn't be get stuck. And sports board is something, as I told, there is a lot of bureaucracies. If GS sports is not there, also the board will run. But if the board should run good or not, how much ever you involve will matter. So that also is there. So that's all.
So this was Mr. CK Soorya, General Secretary of the Sports Board, with us in this series of ANUBHAV. Clarity leads to informed voting.